hilarious fashion.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Christina Milian, but like it's
Christina?
you. Christina. I don't know why I said it like that. Yeah, I know. Well, now I'm doubling down. I prefer Christina Milian, okay? It's like how some people say bruschetta and some people say bruschetta. It's Christina.
No.
Sarah's family's very Italian, and sometimes I'm not.
I can't.
Sometimes to fit in, I throw a little bit of spice on words that don't deserve it.
Oh my God.
And that was one of them.
That's so funny.
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
You are here. You made it to us. You probably love romantic comedies. We do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have Falling in Love. Good emphasis on the in, because it is I-N-N, like as in an
inn.
Yeah. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever, please subscribe, follow. But more importantly, though, if you leave reviews, more people find us. The more reviews we get, the more. As long as it's a 5-star review, that's always a good thing. But, just share your feelings if you want there. Or as well, if you want to reach out about anything at all. Sarah literally responds to all of our Instagram messages. That's at Romcom Rewind on Instagram. There's also TikTok. You can even call us and leave a voicemail if you want. 1-705-525-8573. We have an Instagram DM, though.
Yes, Rosario. She says, hi, I love your podcast. I found you guys through TikTok, and I am obsessed in a good way. I am not entirely sure if The Fault in Our Stars qualifies as a rom-com, but would love to hear you guys talk about it. Keep doing what you're doing. Wish you both the best. Thank you.
I love how she does clarify that there could be an obsessed in a bad way.
Yes, but it's in the good way.
Probably not stalking us, I think.
Thank you.
And I like The Fault in Our Stars. See, this is
I haven't seen it yet.
This is the duality of this podcast,
Yes.
in that, that is right up my alley. I'm so down for, are we going to get emotional and cry tonight?
Devin wants all of the emotions of the weeps, the weep warnings.
And Sarah would prefer something more like this, which is easy watch. It's just...
It's a Hallmark with a different name.
Oh, gee, we got to talk about that. So Falling in Love is a 2019 Netflix romantic comedy. It's directed by Roger Kumble. Falling in Love is the story of Gabriela Diaz, played by Christina Milian. She works at a San Francisco design firm. She has ambitions of working in renewable and green energy initiatives, stuff like that. However, when the business folds, she finds herself drunkenly one night applying to win an inn in New Zealand. It's like a contest. Miraculously, she does win that inn. She travels all the way to New Zealand, kind of the countryside, to find her new inn. It ends up being in a total state of disrepair. It's not a good-looking inn. But Gabriella vows to restore this inn with a green energy kind of flair, employs the help of some town folk, and maybe finds love along the way in the form of a character named Jake Taylor, played by Adam Demos. That's your lead-in for Falling in Love. What are your thoughts?
What can we get you?
Directions to Bellbird Valley Farm. I'm the new owner.
Oh. In from America, right? I bet there's an intriguing backstory to your arrival.
Well, after losing my job and my boyfriend in San Francisco, I entered a win an inn contest.
You've won an inn, located in New Zealand.
So, a 13-hour flight to Auckland and 3 bus rides later.
This movie is a Netflix Hallmark movie, through and through. And cheesy Sarah loves it, I Christina Milian wouldn't have been my pick, I don't think, just because I don't think she's a strong actress. But the cheese was real in this movie. It was real, but it also had a certain charm, like Gilbert the goat. Who puts Gilbert the goat, who lives in the inn of, disheveled inn? It has some historic charm, which, Sarah loves, the love letters, and I'll get into that later on. It was a cute watch. It could be, a rewatch where you put it on in the background.
Wow, glowing recommendation.
No.
Watch this when you don't actually want to focus on it.
No, I said a rewatch.
Oh, yeah.
When you watch it the first time, I mean, it has some stumbles, but ultimately it's cute. It's very light and fun.
Yeah, if you're like making dinner, you got to focus on the kids, the husband's outside doing whatever, and then also you want to watch something, it's like a great fourth thing to have happening somewhere. No,
You know what though? The idea of it is really charming and cute. Like I keep saying the word cute because that's what it is. Like there's not really much to it. The actors and actresses that they have, I thought they did a good job.
Okay, so you know what? Like I'm gonna poke some fun here and there, but like Adam Demos is pretty solid.
Oh yeah, he opens his mouth and talks, and I'm like, oh my god, swoon.
Swoon. He takes off his shirt, even better. We love that.
I was just like, I mean, even Christina Milian, like Gabriella, just stops and stares. I mean, who wouldn't?
There were a few other acting performances that were pretty good.
Norman. I mean,
Norman. I was gonna say Gilbert the goat was pretty solid too. No, but like, I mean, listen, let's call this what it is. And actually, I think we need to figure out what we need to call this, because it's not just Hallmark. Lifetime does them as well.
Yes.
There are many places where you can find this brand of romantic comedy. And I think before we go on, we need to let's brainstorm a little bit of what we could call this, or maybe if we're planning on doing like a proper Hallmark episode on like holiday rom-coms.
Yes.
We could figure out a name. Like, what do we call them?
Cheese and fun,
Oh, cheese and fun.
Like a cheese and fun.
Well,
I don't know what that means. I don't know what it is, but like that's kind of what I think of it. It's a fun, lighthearted movie and with a ton of cheese to it. It's like poured all over on top of it.
Oh my God.
There's
something here. There's a food thing. I like when we do the food stuff.
I know you do. It's like a funnel cake.
No. Listen, She's All That is a funnel cake, Sarah. Completely different.
So sorry.
She's All That is like carnival food, because it's fun and exciting and like, wow, but I can't live off it. This is not on the She's All That level.
No, it's definitely not. I was not saying that.
Like, this film is the thing that's happening while my real life is also occurring. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to have 100% of my focus on this, because I know what's going to happen. I know all the beats that we're going to hit. I know how it's going to end. And there's sometimes different ways to get there, but...
Well, I will say, I do believe that it's off of a book. So...
Shut up. This is based off of a novel?
Yeah, it's based off like a series of a book. Like it's book number 1 called Falling in Love.
No, you know what that means? There might be another Falling in Love. Falling in Love
yes.
2?
I saw somewhere on the internet that there were it's not like a direct from the book. Like it's not like they took the book and then like made the movie. I think there's a few things that were different.
So like somebody wins an in, and then we'll just do our own story.
Maybe, yeah. And then there was pieces of like, is there gonna be a Falling in Love 2 ? And like, so I don't know, that might have just been the article kind of guessing, but yes.
All right, RCR fam, think about what we should call this brand of romantic comedy, because it is kind of its own thing. It's not just Hallmark though. Netflix is doing it now. A lot of people do it. Let's put your noggin on it, and we'll circle back in a few. Maybe we'll toss this on Instagram as well. Let's dive in though.
So the movie starts with Gabriella preparing for the pitch of her life at the design firm that she works at in San Francisco. She lives in a business world because you see her on her Peloton morning bike ride through the virtual park. She couldn't just go out and do it herself. Then it shows her at her business pitch with her coworker or boss, I'm not really sure, but whose name is none other than Chad. The Chad.
He's Chad.
Chad. Is he the essence of the name Chad? I really do think he holds that in this movie. He is quite the, like, I have 10 different phones. I'm calling people constantly. I have, a cheap suit on, and like, I'm Chad. To anybody named Chad, it's really not what I'm thinking.
He's kind of like your next level of Chad, though, I think, Sarah.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Is he like or I should have said the over essence of Chad.
No. Because there's the base Chad, which is like your frat boy Chad. But then that guy graduates. What does he do? This is is like Wall Street Chad. It's Chad
It
2.0.
Yeah. She then heads to yoga class with her friend where they get yelled at for talking. She's, a modern working woman. She also breaks up with her long-term boyfriend because he's a commitment phobe and doesn't want to move in with her after 3 years and says that he likes things the way that they are. So she decides, after this breakup, Gabriella decides that she's going to enter a contest to win an inn in New Zealand.
This occurs kind of simultaneously with the business folding, right? So she's out of a job, she's down in the dumps.
So she wins, obviously, and then she gets there after the long journey, and she realizes that it's not all cracked up, that it's not all it's cracked up to be, and there's just a few more cracks that need to be filled.
Sarah with the dad jokes. What is happening to you?
Don't know.
What has
I see
happened?
them and I have to run to them. I see them and I'm like, oh, I have to take the opportunity.
I love how you started like, I see them and I have to run.
Towards them.
Not away though. I go there. Yes, we know that. Okay. How many more? I gotta ask. You have notes. Is there another dad joke?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I try. Just, they come organically. What do you want from me?
Jesus. You had that written out though, right? You didn't just come up with that.
Get it organically because she wants to have everything green and eco. No, sorry. That actually, that's
wasn't. A stretch.
No. I know.
Oh man. So yeah, it was one really long flight, 3 buses for her to get to this town, like Beechwood.
Yes. And so enter the hot New Zealand man, Jake
Taylor.
Yes. Yeah, he's the local contractor who she totally has insulted time and time again. First with him offering her a ride into town, which she has to be all independent and tell him no, and walks all the way into town after finding out that Lyft, or similar to Uber, isn't a real thing in rural New Zealand. Upon entering said town, she meets the couple who runs the local coffee shop, who are lovely and honestly 2 of my favorite people and parts of this movie. They point her in the direction to the inn, which, we end up finding is in complete disarray. But she's also there acquainted with her new property owner, Gilbert, the goat, as well as Charlotte stops by, who owns the only other bed and breakfast in that little town.
A little bit of a competitor. She's got not a mean streak, but she's ready to just get Gabriella out of here so she can own it.
Yes, she's like the mini villain of the movie.
She's not like super mean-spirited until...
Well, later on, we'll get to it.
But it's even what she does is like,
that's what I mean. It's a mini villain. Like, it's really not like Ursula from The Little Mermaid stealing her voice. Like, it's just like a little bit,
Sarah's also loving the Little Mermaid references lately.
Oh my God, I'm not trying.
What kind of mood are you in right now?
It's because The Little Mermaid's coming out on live action, and I'm excited about it.
Is Scorpio season officially over?
No, it's not over.
Oh, so you're thriving right now. You're hitting the dad jokes, Little Mermaid.
Do you want me to pick something else? I don't know. Like, who's another villain?
Literally any other Disney villain.
Snow White.
Scar, you got...
Oh, Scar. Pushes Mufasa over?
Sure, yeah.
There you go. Like, that's a big deal.
Those are bad people.
Charlotte's a mini villain.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so at the garden house, we meet Shelley, who becomes Gabriella's best friend in New Zealand. And one day, while Gabby is there, I'm going to call her Gabby.
Yeah, easier.
While she's there, Jake is also at the greenhouse or garden house, and Shelley oversees that the 2 of them are flirting, and she makes a comment to Gabby saying that Jake hasn't taken an interest in somebody since his wife died. And so we get a little bit of Jake's backstory. Ain't no thing like a Cinderella story where Chad Michael Murray has no backstory.
Right.
This guy has a backstory.
You know what?
Because he's hot in New Zealand.
And this is also, okay, so there are a few things that are very like Hallmark rom-com-esque.
Big time.
The couple that own the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like there's always that character in a Hallmark movie, right?
Yes, there is 100%.
The quaint coffee shop owner.
Mm-hmm. Who gives her free coffee all the time.
Right. And they're sweet.
Can I go there?
But also, you know what's something? This is maybe a little bit poignant that I noticed in all Hallmark. I love how I point out something like I'm about to be very eloquent here with this observation.
And I'm excited.
But and I think this is something for all these kinds of movies, the fatal flaws of all the characters are so frustratingly redeemable. You know what I mean?
You're so right.
Like, his girlfriend died and she got fired and broke up with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And those are like the problems that they have, which is all very... There's just nothing with a character that I think, oh, wow, that's kind of complex. Or, ooh, there's going to be this big, heroic, I was this person and now I'm going to become this person. Nobody has a flaw that I'm like, well, shit, he's got to figure that out.
We can't get too deep, okay?
But we also can't write anything that's too intricate. We just need... here's a guy, oh, he's sad. Why is he sad? No, this thing happened. And now you're going to make him happy. And why are you sad? Oh, you got fired. No,
this is an easy fix. We'll just do this.
It's just so easy. And then Steve Carell's over here in Crazy Stupid Love. Like, I'm getting cheated on by fucking Kevin Bacon is banging my wife. And now I'm trying to get Ryan Gosling. And he is dating my daughter. And like the person babysitting for me, kid, wants to have sex with me. But my son is the one who likes her. There's... you look at a well-polished romantic comedy, there's a lot of different issues at play.
Subplots, right? There's not a ton of different subplots that are at play in this movie.
And she's like, no,
I have to renovate an inn that I just won for free.
Yes, exactly.
And Chad over here is getting a whole company. He didn't have a job, and now he has a whole company.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yes, exactly. Oh man. Anyway, let's keep moving along.
Okay, so Gabby heads over to the coffee shop around dinner time, and we find out that it's a rugby night, and she ends up having dinner with none other than Jake. And this ends up being their first date, really, because they end up having a lovely time. And this is after Gabby has insulted him many times in the hardware store, at the beginning with the car, like just time and time again. She thinks he's mansplaining to her all the time. Like, it's just one thing after another. And then all of a sudden they get along very nicely, and they become friends with like a little twinkle in their eye of, maybe there's something more. So the next morning she wakes up with a terrible, terrible cold. And this is my best scene.
Okay.
When she realizes that she's actually made friends and a bit of a life in this small town. All of her friends that she's made, Shelley, the doctor, the two guys who own the coffee shop, and Jake, they come over to help her with a few things, bring her cold remedies. And, it was just such a cute little scene where everybody comes together and helps Gabby, and Gabby starts to realize that maybe I don't want to go home. Maybe I will stay. But I will say, one thing that threw me for a loop was that Gabby initially dislikes Jake for no reason, I may add. Mm-hmm. But then all of a sudden jumps into a business relationship with him. Because this is what happens in the next scene, is that we see Gabby offer him a 50-50 split for the profits, labor, and costs of the inn. Let's get into a business partnership after one dinner. Jeez.
One dinner. Oh, and he fixed her faucet, though, didn't he?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Well, it was the faucet.
Probably.
It's a bit far-fetched to go from like not wanting to talk to somebody, then having a little dinner, finding out he's a volunteer fireman, and then wanting to partner with him on the inn. That's the only thing that I'm just like, Like, I feel like they could have just like done it a little bit better.
That's the only thing?
One of them.
Okay. All right. Can we talk about this random town?
Absolutely.
Beechwood?
Yes.
So Gabrielle says that she takes one really long flight, 3 bus rides. She ends up in this randomest little tiny town.
Mm-hmm. Quaint.
So, as we do on this podcast, what are some similar stories to Gabby's? I found Reddit stories of the strangest towns that people have visited. And now all this is from the writer's point of view.
Okay.
This person says, I went to Star Island in the Isle of Shoals. Shoal?
Wow.
It's like, it's just off the coast of like Maine.
Cool.
They say, and I've actually got a photo to show you, Sarah. They say this is like some Shutter Island meets The Shining.
I was just about to say, is it like Shutter Island shit?
Shutter Island meets The Shining.
Oh, that's so creepy.
It's a lone giant hotel on the island and nothing else. They say when I went there, there was what I think was a cult renting it.
No.
So when we went to use the public washroom on the island, they all stared at us and the kids ran away and hid.
What?
Come over to my side and take a look. I found there's a few Google images of what this location looks like, but that's what it looks like. Isn't that some creepy ass shit?
Okay, yeah. So if anyone has watched Shutter Island, it is Shutter Island.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is probably where they filmed it.
The Oceanic Hotel, which actually looks like it could be beautiful and quaint.
Yes, I agree.
But knowing that there's like probably a cult also renting out a bunch of rooms, I'd be like, get me the out of here.
Or like crazy stuff has happened at that hotel. Like,
yeah.
I am sure. And it is definitely haunted.
Somebody's died for sure. This person says it's a tiny, Gaberville, California. If you're aware of it. If you live there, I apologize. But this person says it's a tiny one-street town full of hippies and drifters. Most of the businesses there are actual fronts for the pot farmers who live in the mountains to wash their marijuana profits. So it's like money laundering there. They say if you show up in the fall near harvest season, quote unquote, tons of young dreadlocked people from all over the world show up, hoping to get a job trimming marijuana on one of their farms. They call them trimmigants.
Trimmigans. Oh my God.
Trimmigants. Like
Trimmigants.
Immigrants. Trimmigants.
Trimmigants.
Grits.
Wow.
It reminds me of, do you remember that place we found in Victoria?
Oh my God,
on Victoria Island?
Victoria. Coombs.
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 Probably, yeah.
Which would be Combs, but it's not. It's Coombs.
And you're driving through this place.
Yeah.
Vancouver Island is a special area.
It is. It's beautiful. Oh my God, it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But like you're driving through this town and it's like Canada's Bong Emporium.
Yeah.
Tie-dye t-shirts on the left.
Over 200 different types of bongs. And you're just like, okay. And then all of a sudden you see this like flying like thing in the air and you're like, what?
Wait, what's the flying thing?
I can't. Oh, it's a big bong.
Oh,
it was a big bong.
Wait, there was actually a big bong?
I'm pretty sure.
Like an inflatable bong?
Yeah,
like a flying
an inflatable bong. Yes.
There was also there's that hut thing.
Then you go down the street and there is a like a building that has goats that are on the roof. Roof goats.
We were not high traveling through this area. These are all factual things about the location.
Yeah,
of
we were
Coombs,
trying to get to Tofino.
which turns out is very similar to Gaberville, California.
That's hilarious.
And this last person said St. Joseph, Missouri. I played a gig and some guy gifted me a deer skinning knife.
A what?
Because he said he liked us. He's like, here's a knife for skinning. Great gig, guys. Here's something for your next kill.
I'm not going to give you a dozen roses. I'm going to give you a deer skinning knife.
Not that kind of town. Not that kind of town.
Not that kind of
guy. They said, I've seen people smoking weed and doing shrooms in broad daylight. Beyond all that, people just seemed really off. Well, yeah. if there are people in broad daylight just dropping some shrooms,
I mean, that's a really special gift. I'm sure will be cherished. No, it won't.
No. So
that's so funny.
So in terms of strange towns, Beechwood isn't that bad, actually.
Oh my gosh, I think Beechwood is a lovely town. I didn't get any creepy vibes from it at all. Did you?
Nothing like the inn is not the hotel from The Shining or anything like that. So
I will say that Gabby does get the sense that it is haunted from the archivist at the library who says, oh yeah, this place is haunted. Something terrible happened there, but I don't want to get into it. And we never find out what happened at the inn. That is another thing that I'm like, oh, I really wanted to know about it, you know? Okay, so these next two scenes are them, Gabby and Jake, renovating the inn, getting up close and personal with the tiles, the grout, each other, with Gilbert the goat even interrupting a kiss. And they find love letters stashed away in the wall of the inn.
Hold on, I've got another thing.
Okay.
Things that shouldn't be sexual but somehow are in romantic comedies.
Oh.
So Jake and Gabby are there like on the tile. They're trying to figure out the grout. And she's like, I can't do this. And he grabs her hand and he's like, no, like this. And he moves.
Oh, yeah. She's moving the grout in the wrong way.
And she is turned the on, guys. She's
loving it. She's like giving him googly eyes.
And I'm watching this. I'm like, home reno that's not a fun experience. That is not romantic. There's nothing sexual about what's happening here, or there shouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, home renos have destroyed relationships.
Oh my God. Even building IKEA furniture has destroyed relationships. They're connecting over a grout. So here's the game I have. The game is this weird sexual moment from a romantic comedy, or did I make it up?
Okay.
What you will hear is a scenario that is atrocious and I think does not belong in a romantic comedy, but some of them are actually from romantic comedy. Some of them I'm making up.
Okay.
Starting with the first, and it's all going to be very like a guy, a woman. That's how I'm going to tee up small bits of the story so that we don't give anything away. This woman has problems with her chimney, so she calls a company to get it fixed, and this guy shows up to fix it. He gets stuck in the chimney. She ends up assisting him, and when he falls back out of the chimney, they kind of have this romantic moment of her, like, dabbing his forehead because he had a cut there with a little thing.
Okay,
she fixes him up.
All I can think of is Mary Poppins and the chimney sweeps, and them dancing around. But no, that is not from a romantic comedy.
Wow, you're right. It's not from a romantic comedy, Sarah. Okay. All right. How about this one?
Okay.
A guy's trying to woo this girl at his home. He takes her out back to what is his pride and joy, his farm shed where he produces cheese. The dude makes cheese, and they end up having sex in the farmhouse amongst the cheese, inexplicably. She's like, oh, damn, that's romantic cheese. And they bang.
That is from a romantic comedy. J-Lo's in it, right?
That's right.
What one is it?
Backup plan.
The backup plan. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Which, that scenario is just as absurd as the grout, guys.
I was just about to say, and not only that, like, it actually is... like all the stinky cheese.
It would smell so bad in there.
So bad. So bad.
This woman's a singer.
Okay.
She reluctantly gets on stage, sings a song about wanting to jump in front of a subway train and kill herself.
Okay.
There's a dude in the crowd who falls in love with her voice over that.
I feel like that might be real. Is it real?
Is that
guess. A Star is Born?
No, that is...
I actually haven't seen that movie, so I didn't know.
That's...
Maybe
it is real. It's Begin Again. Mark Ruffalo, Keira Knightley. And they don't actually end up being love interests.
No.
But there are some moments where it feels weird.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it does feel really weird. The whole movie, like that their chemistry was
weird.
Weird, but really good because you almost wanted it to happen.
Well,
right?
I think in that scene, the audience was maybe a little bit teed up. Like, are they?
Yeah. Are they the love interests? Yeah.
Okay, this guy's a hotel manager and is dealing with a difficult female guest who's staying there for an extended period of time. Mm-hmm. They have all these bickering moments, but one morning he ends up brewing her like the perfect cup of espresso. And she didn't think that she would get like a really nice cup of espresso there. So they kind of have this unique little bonding over his ability to make coffee, I guess.
That's not real.
No, it's not real.
No, and only because I know that I've been having trouble making your coffee in the morning when I do, and I can't hit the espresso level.
Oh, man.
However, okay.
It was just on my mind, I guess.
I will say, though, that it sounded real. Like that right there, that little, like, it could have been from a real rom-com, because that's how absurd these little details of their like little, chemistry sparks. That's all it takes.
I've got one more for
Okay.
you. This single dad is at a Blockbuster video.
Jersey girl. Okay, but finish.
Yes, because this one's weird too.
Yeah, no, it is.
Remember,
weird.
Ben Affleck goes up to buy porno or to rent porn, and Liv Tyler's there, and she's like, "Oh, does your wife know about this?" And he's like, "Actually, she died. J-Lo's dead in this movie."
Yes.
And she's like, "Oh my God, that's so horrible." And then later, she's like, "But could I interview you for my college class in terms of a single dad's sex life?"
Yeah.
How is any of that supposed to be romantic?
None of it is really. That one actually, I think, takes the icing. Takes the cake.
The cake.
Takes
And the icing too. The icing's
on there.
I'm just saying, like, are those more or less absurd than the grout? Can I say, I took some shots at some romantic comedies. The difference being Jersey Girl is fantastic. Begin Again's not bad. The Backup Plan's okay too.
Yeah, they're all great.
I would put them all slightly ahead of this.
Yes.
We're gonna agree.
Yeah. Cue the mini villain of the movie, though. While Gabby is out shopping with Shelley, Charlotte overhears Gabby say that she's really liking this place and may actually consider staying. Charlotte takes Gabby's phone and texts Dean, who is Gabby's ex-boyfriend, who has been nonstop texting Gabby saying he wants to get back together with her. Charlotte says that if that's the case, then come here and show me. That's the text message from Gabby or Charlotte to Dean. So that's kind of like on a side note, because the next day, Gabby and Jake take the day off renovating the inn, and Jake brings her on a hike/walk to the beach, and they read the love letters together.
You know, working on the inn with you made me really happy.
It's made me happy too.
This was my best scene, actually.
Oh, okay. You go then.
It wasn't even the it wasn't the love letters necessarily.
Yeah.
I just feel like this film was shot in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. Up until this point, they could have shot it anywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
And this was the first time that I'm like, wow, like this is
We're in New Zealand.
what beautiful scenery. There was one other moment with some kids doing like a haka. Aside from that, and you could have gotten those kids anywhere. You could have been in LA and gotten those kids. And then like the scenery in New Zealand, every other film or anything I've seen of New Zealand, they highlight the natural beauty of it. And this was like, we're just nowhere.
I know. We're just
until this scene.
Right.
Like, and they found the beach.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so true. And I mean, the whole entire movie was filmed in New Zealand. But again, this is your best scene. Because of the natural...
Because we're like, hey, we're at the beach. Look at how beautiful it is. Like, yeah, this is a beautiful country, guys.
Yes.
But yeah, they do the whole reading of the letters and...
I do have a question, like, and this is, again, what should have been. Like, did they need those love letters in the movie?
Not really. They only need them because I think they wrote the ending. They're like, he's going to write her a letter at the end of this film. And then we got to tell, maybe they find letters. I think that's how they tied all that in.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
But you're right.
The title of the movie couldn't have been Found Letters in, right? Like, you know?
Doesn't quite
No, it doesn't quite have the
ring.
ring. Falling in love, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So once they get back from this magical day, Gabby gets a call from Chad, who offers her a job.
Nice.
This is where Jake becomes all pouty, thinking that, you know, Gabby is going to take the job back in the U.S. And she's seriously considering it because her plan was never to stay in New Zealand all along, which she was always upfront about with Jake because they had that 50-50 and they were going to sell it. But I think he thought that he could change her mind.
Well, and this is a classic rom-com trope of neither character wants to communicate their feelings. So it becomes very much like a, oh, like, are you going to sell? Well, I'm going to sell if you want me to sell.
Right.
Well, if you want to sell, then you can go ahead and sell because that's what we decide. Like, nobody can just stand up and be like, I am attracted to you. Are you attracted to me? Yes. Well, that's all that had to happen here.
Exactly.
Instead of everybody getting pouty with each other.
Right. And then we actually have the I'm going to write a text because I said things I shouldn't have, but then going to erase it montage. Oh my God. Where they are both having the guilties about what they said and really do have feelings for each other, but don't want to admit it and don't want to say they're sorry.
So annoying.
This
God.
I found this scene quite funny.
Did you?
It was almost my best scene just because of how ridiculous it was.
Yeah.
But the Bellbird is finally ready to sell. It's finished. And they have an open house for those who want to see it, as well as those who want to buy it. So, of course, Charlotte shows up. But then cue Dean.
Right. She messaged Dean, and now Dean shows up with a buyer from Australia.
Right. An Australian real estate investor who's also interested in buying the inn because they want to expand from Australia into New Zealand. And they head on, Gabby and Jake head on their tour to show the potential buyers the inn. And when they get to the fireplace, Gabby and Jake have a moment describing the fireplace. But really, they're having a moment remembering the love they formed renovating the inn with the grout and the tiles.
Right. The fireplace is a symbol of it's a metaphor for the love.
their love that they created, right? Because, the fireplace creates fire. No, I'm just making that up,
So,
but I don't know.
I actually thought the film wasn't too bad until we hit a lot of this is straight out of a Hallmark movie. We hit a lot of these moments because then as the tour of the house is over. This Australian business person wants to make an offer. Dean's like, yeah, let's pop the bubbly. There's a fire.
Yes.
Where's the fire?
At the Rose Tea House.
It's at Charlotte's Airbnb. It's at Charlotte's B&B. And then Jake runs off, and him and all the other volunteer firefighters who are there, inexplicable. Like, everybody who's a firefighter was also at this viewing.
Yes. Well, the whole town was.
Yeah.
It was an open house for those to see it.
There's like 20 people in the town, and
whole
15 are firefighters.
It will keep the town safe, Devin. With everyone being a firefighter.
And then there's a super dramatic moment where Jake is in the house.
He's the hero.
Oh my God.
Hero by Enrique Iglesias should have played.
I can be your hero, baby.
Yeah, Jake's the hero of the day. And they saved the tea house. They also saved some of the weird porcelain dolls. Sorry, creepy porcelain dolls.
Charlotte goes in for those.
Yeah. So the next day, Gabby breaks things off with Dean the next morning. Not that they were back on, but she really wanted to make things final. And he's okay with it. He was like not okay with it at the beginning of the movie. He was really pouty about it. But then at the end of the movie, he's like, I understand. Okay, I'll leave.
Which is also very Hallmark rom-com.
Yes, totally.
In a real situation, be like, yo, I was on a 13-hour flight, 3 bus rides. This cost me thousands of dollars. We're at least talking about this. Like,
Right.
Are you crazy?
Yes.
I came here. You texted me.
Yeah,
Nobody ever brought up the text like you texted me. Oh, who was that? I don't know. Maybe it was Charlotte trying to sabotage
Well,
everything.
Charlotte does later confess at the bank that she set the whole Dean thing up and Gabby, should stay here and run the inn and whatever. And so
Yes.
then, we have Gabby and Jake decide to keep the inn and run it after a cute but super cheesy love letter.
Dear Gabriella, as promised, I have thought about my terms for the inn. They are as follows. There will always be ice cream in a picnic-ready chili bin, a stuffed possum guarding the fireplace, and a rascally goat who has the run of the farm.
Yeah, the love letter was something. I mean, listen.
Because everyone wants their relationship to start out as an agreement.
And also, like, you're standing in front of her.
Yeah.
And you hand her a letter, and then she turns her back.
And reads
she
it out loud.
Out loud. Like,
Nobody wants their shit read out loud.
oh, man, there's just so much. But, let's call this film what it is. It's a nice, easy watch.
It is.
Don't get your hopes too high. Don't get them too low, though. It's just fine. You know what?
Fining in love.
Honestly, guys.
Falling in love. Fine in love.
Listen, RCR fam, we've been hitting some bangers lately. You know, Enchanted, Dirty Frickin' Dancing, which was 5s across the board
Right.
for both of us. Cinderella Story. There have been a lot of good movies. I think we're allowed to comically poke fun at something that missed the mark a few times.
Yep.
In hilarious fashion.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Christina Milian, but like it's
Christina?
you. Christina. I don't know why I said it
Christina.
like that. Yeah, I know. Well, now I'm
Christina
doubling
Milian.
down. I prefer Christina Milian, okay? It's like how some people say bruschetta and some people say bruschetta. It's Christina
No.
Sarah's family's very Italian, and
can't.
sometimes I'm not.
I can't.
Sometimes to fit in, I throw a little bit of spice on words that don't deserve it.
Oh my God.
And that was one of them.
That's so funny.
Quick facts?
Quick facts. Falling in Love was the first Netflix movie to be entirely shot in New Zealand. Falling in Love was filmed at Tahanga Bethel's Beach in New Zealand. The high street of Beechwood Downs was filmed on location in a town called Thames at 1.5 hours away from Auckland. In one shot, the actual name of the town can be seen on a shop front on the side of the screen.
Oh, cool.
Both Adam Demos and Jeffrey Bauer Chapman were on the TV series Unreal in 2018.
That's it.
That's all for this one.
Honorable mentions.
My honorable mention is Gilbert the Goat. I don't think he gets enough screen time. I think we could have used more of Gilbert the goat.
My honorable mention is going to be Christina Milian's very ambiguous explanation of her green energy initiatives. I feel like it's very teed up, like, this is going to be green, this is going to do this and that. And then when you actually get into it, there is some stuff that, there's a flower that has solar panels and this thing flushes,
gray water,
irrigates the whatever. But there's not a whole, outside of that, there's no tangible, like, this is green. It's just like a fairy tale, it's going to be green energy.
It's like a cloud of like dreams and hopes, and you're just not sure exactly what those dreams and hopes are because like they're clouded. They're covered by the cloud. You know, you gotta sift through it to see.
Also, like, Sarah and I actually have a little tiny bit of familiarity with properties that are green in terms of solar panels.
Yes, yeah.
You need like 10 of those flowers to power an Airbnb, guys. Like,
the fact that
we have about that much, and we got a solar fridge and like a TV.
Like the fact that they have the one flower. There's no way that will do everything in the inn, especially if you have guests. Like you're living there as well as the guests. There's no way that will ever work
unless they get sunshine 100% of every day of every year. Maybe then if you live in a desert, sure. I know New Zealand has like different climates.
I just want to tell you, the desert does have nighttime, right? Like, you know that, right? It's not heat.
Right.
It's not heat, it's sun. So maybe like
even there, it doesn't totally
like in the desert, it's actually really quite cold at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with solar panels. I'm just saying you need more of them. Like that was kind of.
You definitely need more of them. The gray water thing was pretty cool, like a cool idea, concept, to rewater the gardens.
But even like remember her previous company and the guy calls her, he's like, hey, these Chinese investors are so interested in the blah blah blah, but like, what is it? What nobody it's just this.
Well, she doesn't get to pitch, right? She doesn't get to pitch the idea.
That's right.
Yeah,
because we couldn't write enough information for her to do the pitch. Correct. So the whole storyline is
they couldn't wrap their heads around it, right? And we got to keep it a little bit hallmarky, right? Like we got to keep it surface level.
Yeah, it's
like a Chad Michael Murray story.
It's just
don't give too much substance.
Yeah, exactly.
What should have been? I've said a few what should have been throughout the pod, but I will say my last what should have been is I really wish that Gabby would have received a hot dog with a hot dog bun and not a hot dog in a piece of white bread. I can't even like say this without like a massive smile, almost laugh.
I don't even remember this.
So when she's at the event, like the community event or the carnival, she receives a free or a hot dog. She gets a hot dog and it is in a white slice of like Wonder Bread. It is not in a hot dog bun.
Does anybody make mention of this?
No.
Oh, shit.
I was like looking at it and I was like, is that a white piece of bread? And I was like, do I just let this go? And I'm like, no.
Do you know what that means, Sarah? If nobody acknowledged it, that means that on set that day, they were genuinely like, okay, where's the... Holy shit, nobody got hot dog buns? What are we going to do, guys? You need to hand her the hot dog. Oh, no.
What are we going to do? Somebody has Wonder Bread.
Does anybody have bread? Anyone have bread? Okay, somebody's got bread. I guess nobody will notice.
Oh, my God. Honestly, like, I noticed right away. And I was like, because you know what? A lot of times we don't have hot dog buns and I will eat a hot dog in a piece of white bread. And so I appreciate it. But at the same time, I'm like, really? You couldn't have sprung for a hot dog bun?
Wow. I didn't even notice that. Great call. And now overall rewatchability. So I have chemistry, a 2.5, perfectly middle of the road. Like they had some chemistry, sure. Storyline, a 2. Thirst factor, a 3.98. Adam is very, he has the shirtless moment. You got to give him props for that. Imagination, a 2.1. You took it from a novel, and you were in New Zealand and failed to use so much of the scenery. I got to score you pretty low on that. Soundtrack was 2, and the cheese. The cheese I'm giving a 0.5.
We don't have the same idea of a cheese.
Because I see a lot of cheese that's not good. There is good cheese and bad cheese. So I'm scoring the cheese low because it was a very poor showing of cheesiness.
Okay. Whatever.
For an overall score of 2.18 out of 5.
So my rewatchability is as follows. Chemistry, 2.5. Storyline, 3. There's factor 4 because Adam.
Absolutely.
Jake, hot
Sure.
stuff. Imagination 2, soundtrack 1.75, and cheese 4
Wow.
for an overall score of 2.8.
2.8. Okay, yeah, middle. So, average us out at 2.5 probably.
Agreed.
Yeah, more or less. This has been the Rom-Com Rewind of Falling in Love, a great film on an airplane, maybe,
Yeah.
while you're doing dishes or something. If you have anything to talk about regarding what you've heard on this podcast, you can get at us at Romcom Rewind on Instagram, TikTok. You can reach out. We have a Gmail, romcomrewind@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening.